What's up? Happy Wednesday, prepping fun, fanatical family of ours. This is your weekly live with Scott, Shane, and Paris of Prepper Talk Radio. How's it going, guys?
Good.
It's going good.
Good. We see the chat is already going nuts. Welcome, everybody. We got Joseph, Practical Civilian. We got Anthony. We got Utah Mike. We got Rebecca. I mean, it's just filling in. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We're going to have a fun night tonight. We're going to talk about prepping gifts. We're going to talk about some things you can do, sneaky things you can do to help people get more in the mind of prepping this holiday season. And yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't care what Bruce Willis said.
I agree with you. I agree totally.
Oh, that's funny.
Nagasaki.
Yeah.
See,
Nakatomi Plaza. That's what it is.
Plaza.
I was going to ask you, Scott, what's up with the title? Sleigh-in Christmas, Prepper Style? What is that?
Sleigh-in Christmas, man. You want to win the game, right? So when it comes to Christmas,
so you got to
slay all the right
slay the day.
Got
it.
Right, you want to slay the day? That's a different sleigh. In Christmas time, it's the SLEIGH, as in sleigh bells ring. Are you listening?
Slay Christmas. Yes, I get it.
We're going to slay Christmas.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
You know me. I'm a punny guy. If anything, I go a little overboard with titles and stuff. But yes, guilty as charged.
Hey, you're the creative one, so I'm definitely not the creative one.
Well, around Christmas they call me Frosted Fun Time. So, snow everywhere. I don't know. That was
all right, okay.
Okay, so this episode is brought to you by our very own merch. Go to preppertalkradio.com, click on the store icon anywhere on the site, and you can get yourself one of our fantastic t-shirts. You can also get one of those is I'd rather be a warrior in a garden, my personal design, my favorite. And we've also got our ready-minded shirts. You can also get a copy of one of the coolest books that's ever come out.
Hey.
We have signed copies available. You can get one of those. But guys, check those out. Get on our site. Have a lot of fun with it. And yes, I am the Apocalyptimist Punster. Thank you, Practical, for pointing that out. But tonight we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna dig into some things you can do for Christmas to make it a little bit more prepping related. And as usual, Shane's gonna start us off with this big list of gifts.
Huge list. It's huge. But it's the same list every stinking year, though.
I'm going way off the reservation, so I want to hear your first one because I've got some different ideas this year.
Well, you've heard me saying, probably tired of saying it, I'd like to change people's lives. I mean, that's my goal. And I think if you don't carry every day, if you don't have an EDC, if you're not carrying, JR, you're here, welcome. Good to see you, bro. If you're not carrying something, then you're missing out. Let me say that. So the first thing I think you can do to change your life is to carry a pocket knife every day. If you're not, I think it's super simple. It's you can go inexpensive, you can go expensive. There's so many different ways you can go. But if you don't carry that, or like a tool, I carry a Swiss tool as well, and I use these things every day. And I think if you're always having to hunt for something to open a box or cut this or that, it's very important to have tools on you. And that's why I carry the Swiss tool all the time. That's why I carry a knife all the time. I think it'll change whoever you're going to give this to. It's going to change their life if they decide to actually use it and carry it every day, right? And have it with them wherever they go. Mm-hmm. That's my first suggestion.
All right, I agree with you. That's great. That's a great suggestion. I carry a knife all the time wherever I go. But I'm going to completely go off the reservation. The first gift you need to give anybody for Christmas this year is an Angora rabbit.
Okay.
All right.
Let's
do we need to have an intervention?
Until you want to eat it, you can get one of the most sought after wools. It's softer, it's fluffy, it's silky, and you can craft your own socks and woolen pants if you need to. But you can turn a rabbit into an income stream and a warmth modifier. Like it's I've been learning about these the last few weeks, and I'm like, that's the rabbit I'm going to get. They produce really high quality wool all year round. You don't need to breed them very often, which is good because otherwise you'll have crap tons of rabbits, and then you'll have to eat them faster than you would just grab the wool fibers off. I think less gear this year, and I'm not buying one this year, but I'm putting that on my list for in the next year. I'm getting some rabbits, and it's going to be Angora rabbits because
Well, that along with your llamas, bro, you'll have
Dude,
some fat wool.
I'm not getting llamas.
Llamas. Sorry, you were
What kind of
alpacas.
smoke are you
Sorry, alpacas.
ingesting right now? Like, yeah, alpacas. They're delightful. You can ask J.R. Hendry; he knows.
Ooh. And Joseph says that the fertilizer from the rabbit is good for the garden.
Right? That's another benefit. And they'll eat a lot of the plants you don't want to eat yourself. So, they'll help tend the garden.
My daughters got married this year, and thankfully they got married to guys who, when they came for Thanksgiving, we went shooting. So the girls went out to the movies and us guys went out to the shooting range. So I got some good son-in-laws. But when we were moving them into the new apartment, their new place, I grabbed my daughter's bug out bag, her grab and go bag, and she says, "Dad, my husband doesn't have a grab and go bag." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, dude! Like we're gonna have to fix that for Christmas for sure." So one of my ideas is for the ideas to help my sons-in-laws, or at least get their make sure they have their bug out bags ready to rock and roll.
Wait, you didn't do that when you interviewed them to see if they're worthy of your daughter? Like before you just threw them to the wolves, you didn't check to see if the wolves had bug out bags?
They had guns, they had ammo, they had careers, they had everything else. So I was just like, all right, well, we can work on that weakness.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
They had a lot of the other stuff. So
Shane, what did you do with your son-in-law when he came on board? Like, did you pre-screen him or?
Well, my gift for the past 3 or so Christmases has been pistols, rifles, and shotguns. So
nice.
As well as ammo. So
he's
very competent, along with my dog.
You adopt me?
I know. How do we get involved in that Christmas list? That's amazing. I'll take a rifle or a handgun any day.
Happy to give those to responsible people. So you guys,
I'm off the list.
Yeah, just forget that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've got a long ways before my daughter is old enough to even date. But yeah, I'm gonna be like, okay, dude, where's your kit? How's your first aid game? How's your self-defense game? Like, can you keep my daughter safe and protected when you're being stupid? Or are you smart enough to diffuse situations? Like those are the things I'm maybe put a de-escalation book on that Christmas list. How to avoid conflict and de-escalate or destroy.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a book, anyone has any recommendations on that, I'd like to see that in the chat.
Yeah, we need to all marry Shane's daughter. Practical says we need to all marry Shane's daughter so that we can get guns for Christmas. That's awesome, Practical. Thank you.
JR, don't think about it.
So I was, another
inside joke.
Right. Another good idea, I think, is that, what are some good introductory products or services or trainings that you can give to somebody, even if it's not necessarily like a tangible gift. Maybe you can give them a coupon to go do a gun training or something, or maybe a first aid class or something like that, or something that you could use to build a skill, because those are great gifts as well. Like not just have it be you open it and it's something that you can use right away, but then also to say, okay, look, my gift is, you get to take the first aid course, the CPR course, or maybe a sewing course, or even animal husbandry. If you're going to get a rabbit, you need to know how to take care of it. So a animal husbandry type of course would be good for that. So I was just thinking that, any one of those kinds of things would also be a good idea for training and skill building.
Yeah, I've got that on my list, is some ammo and a training class. And we all know a good guy locally, don't we, Paris?
Yeah, we do. In fact, it was funny because our last episode we had the Pete Robertucci on, and his main one of his main points was to develop a tribe, to get a community, get a group of people together. And I think that that having a good local group of guys that you can go shooting with, or just, they've got your back if anything gets going. That's really good. So
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
That is one of the things I love most about where I live is I've got quite a few really, really knowledgeable, really effective neighbors up here. I wish, though, that I lived closer to you guys. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be cooler.
But that's not in the cards right now. But yeah, as you think about Christmas, as you think about spending more time with family, spending more time with your friends, your community, your group, dude, you can do some fun stuff with like white elephant gifts. One of the most valuable things you can give out in a white elephant gift right now is toilet paper, man. I'm telling you. You can store that, stockpile that, keep it forever. But I as far as like a gift that I think could keep on giving, I gotta say a vacuum sealer. That's on my list of things that I want for Christmas. A vacuum sealer. You're gonna, and this is thanks to Sarah from over at Peelies and Petals, Sarah Thrush, acclaimed author. She gave me this idea because I'm like, I've got other food preservation stuff. I'm like, you know what? If I had a vacuum sealer, things wouldn't go bad as fast. Like I'd avoid a lot of the freezer burn stuff. Like there would be a lot less food waste. And we as preppers know that food waste is a killer. Why buy all the stuff if you're going to waste it? I'm now wanting to I'm now wanting to either get a freeze dryer. We kind of have a joint one with the family, but it's not in my house. So I don't use it as often. But a vacuum sealer can at least keep our food fresher longer and give me more time to either eat it or get something organized to then go preserve it, can it, or whatnot.
So you're saying like that could be a middle step.
Oh yeah.
Before you can it, you put it in the vacuum sealer just to keep it
fresher longer, right? Vacuum sealing your meats before you throw it in the freezer keeps it better.
Dehydrated foods
is great. I've got a food dehydrator, but I don't use it enough. I haven't used it in probably a year and a half. No, 2 years. Shoot. I'm a terrible prepper today. But yeah, I've got that on my list. I think my big things are like food, warmth, food preservation. I've got some other ones on my list too, but I think a vacuum sealer is great because you can get someone a vacuum sealer and they don't realize it's a prepping gift.
And that goes along with Jim's comment here is, concentrate on food sources this year more than just gear. I mean, gear is fun to give and all. And, but yeah, absolutely. The self-reliance really comes down to food more than anything. So yeah, I totally agree with anything food. Like I've given also my kids, again, another reason to be marry one of my daughters. I've given them all, for Christmas, those food buckets like you get at Costco or whatever that either a 5-gallon bucket of macaroni and cheese or something like that, or some of the freeze dried foods in the emergency food kits at Costco or whatever.
That's cool.
I think that's a good Christmas gift. I think people won't appreciate it right in the moment.
That leads me to believe, that leads me to that we have Marcelo's course that would be a great course for instruction. And that would be a good course to gift somebody. Because if you take the course, according to the what he shared with us, if you take his course and finish it in 90 days, he'll actually give you $1,000 worth of food storage just for completing the course. I don't know if that's still active, but at the time we had him on the video interviewed him, he said that was anybody who finishes the course within a certain time frame, he'll give him a credit at the store of $1,000 for food. So that's huge.
That's basically wipes out the right?
Cost. Yeah, the Food Storage Depot. If you go to our website, preppertalkradio.com, there's a challenge at the top menu, and that challenge will take you to Marcelo's website, where you can take advantage of that. Also, I've got a ton of his freeze-dried food. It's just really good. The thing about him is he focuses more on the high grade content. The quality of food is better than I would put him and Thrive as the top two.
Oh, because his lasts longer. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you're going to have like a fully mixed meal, Mountain House is my favorite. Like a little more
Yeah,
expensive,
most
but it
expensive.
is.
Yeah.
It's a fully made meal, then cooked, then freeze dried. And they've got a sister company. And I can't think of the name off the top of my head right now. I've got some cans of that in the other room. But yeah, you can't go wrong giving somebody some long-term food storage, because when the time comes they need to eat, that is going to save a lot of time and effort for them. I mean, having something that can be prepared quickly, that is such a game changer when you've got so much you've got to do, especially grid down scenario, right? Everything is going to be manual labor. Say goodbye to the normalcy of life, the way you to enjoy right now, and make sure you have a backup. And that's why another one that I really want is more solar panels for my power banks.
Nice. Yeah. I bought a bunch with mine just to have it already, because that was one thing I knew that was going to be, you could have a power bank, but you got to have a way to refill it fast or faster than, and so that's having those solar panels is a great idea. One thing I was going to say too is it's not necessarily a gift item, but it's definitely something that you should be watchful for as you're out shopping for gifts. If you're buying in physical stores, just be watchful for any crooks or people. That's one thing that I think that a lot of these guys are going to be out and about trying to look for unsuspecting people. So just be careful to watch your six in parking lots and be watchful of different, potential weirdos that, of course I'm a weirdo. So you can watch out for me, but anyways, if you're shopping, just look for people that don't look like they should be there, or they're not doing what they should do. Cause this time of year is a perfect time for people to con people or be unscrupulous with some of their stuff. So just be careful on that too. I would say is as you're out about shopping, just keep your eyes peeled and your head on a swivel.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Okay, I got another. Of course, I got a whole long list here. Of course, my next item on my talking about item gear, right, is a quality flashlight, right? And of course, all my kids have gotten flashlights, even a couple of them over Christmases, and I can always say, you know what? They ask me, Dad, where's the flashlight? You go get yours. You have one. You make sure it's charged up, and it definitely comes in handy. And that's another thing that I carry every day as well. And that won't change your life as much as a knife will, or a tool, a multi-tool.
I was actually fixing my car last night, and I had to laugh because I had 3 different headset systems, headlamps. I don't know, headlamps. I'm a big headlamp guy, but I've got 3 different ones that I had, and I'm like, oh, this one's gonna be better. And I got out working on it. I'm like, oh, no. I need the wide one. So I've got one that's just a big wide beam across the whole front of my head. It lights up everything. I'm telling you, if you're working on a project out, it doesn't light very far away, but it lights everything close really well. Oh man, working on a car, that's the thing. I hate flashlights. I love having a torch on your head. It makes such a difference to have my hands free. I don't know how everybody sticks to flashlights. I've got flashlights. I've got tons of flashlights.
They fit in your pocket better.
Well, also if you wear a hat, like I have a couple flashlights where they have the clip, and if you wear it's actually got a reverse clip. So if you put it on your hat, if you're wearing a hat, you can clip it on the bill.
See, I'm modeling mine right now. See, mine is not a headlamp.
We have our model Shane, who's modeling our.
Look away.
No, I highly agree on a flashlight. That's the one thing. One of the most common things that could happen in your area, if it's a power outage, even if it's power outages can come from all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be an EMP or some, solar flare. It could be, the local, like when the last one we had, the local power station just blew up. So having a way to light yourself with whether it's through Devo's Outdoors power lights that we have, or just a regular flashlight, have something to keep the lights on and the energy going, because that's critical. One of the things I really want to do this year, I want to increase my skill sets. So I'm looking at different books, not just like, of course, in the last episode, we had an author of a fiction / entertainment book, but I'm also looking for like some of the Nicola Pellion's, like how to really do herbology or how to do like I don't know if some of you guys listening have seen on Facebook, there's that Navy SEALs bug-in guide, how to make your house the most protected. So I just want to pick up some more books where I can actually read and learn some of those skill sets so that I can have those skill sets. I think those are good too, because even the entertainment books are a good introduction to prepping for a lot of people. If they like fantasy books and they want to read those types of things, you can really get them in. Speaking of which, by the way, we're having episode 398. We had Jeff Kirkham come on, and he is the one who wrote the books that are the movie and TV series with Angel Studios with Homestead. And that's coming out in the next couple of weeks. So go see the movie with your family and friends as part of your, holiday activities, and maybe pick up that book and as a gift, or maybe take your family as a gift to the family as an entertainment gift and go watch that movie. Because I think it'll be a fun, entertaining, and educational movie as well. That's coming out, I think, on the 20th or 18th.
20th, yeah.
So
look for Jeff Kirkham and I just forgot his first name all of a sudden. Ross.
Jason Ross?
Jason Ross, thank you.
Jason.
Co-authored that one. Also, make sure you go check out Pete Robertucci. Check out Angry American, aka Chris Weatherman. Some of our favorites. But when you talked about Nicola Pellion's books. Also, when you're talking about like health, nutrition, like overall wellness, healing your body, also check out Barbara O'Neill. I can't tell you.
Oh yeah, she's
how
awesome.
Amazing her information is. She's got a book called Self Heal by Design. She's got a couple different books, but that one is phenomenal. Like antibiotics and stuff like that can only get you so far. And the more I learn about those things, they're great to have, but the more I learn and the more I want to find whole
natural remedies,
right? Natural remedies, things that actually heal. Because none of the medications you take, none of these prescriptions actually heal anything. They don't make anyone whole. They treat symptoms. That's all they do. That's all they'll ever do. So increasing that library, get the prepping books, get the post-apocalyptic, fun books, but definitely increase your library with healing, self-heal by design. And then Nicola Pellion's book.
Do we have a link to that on our website?
Those are linked on our website. If you go buy it on Amazon, but click on the link from our website, it'll give us a little change to help support the channel. But yeah, those are definitely books. I've got so many more books on my list. She's also got Sustain Me, which is another good one. Comprehensive Remedies. That's also from Barbara O'Neill. But yeah, there's so much that we just don't know about proper health and nutrition, how to heal our ailments and take care of our bodies, because the system that we've all grown up in.
Yeah.
Right. There's no money in it for the big companies to have us be healed. We've got to stay sick and continue to keep feeding money into their systems for them to be happy. And so they suppress everything else.
I was at a family gathering not too long ago, and years ago, I gave some of my nephews and nieces, gave them silver quarters, like pre-1964 silver quarters. Cool. And a little quick lesson with it as well. Like, hey, this is real silver. This is what the history of silver a little bit, probably bored the heck out of them. But one of my nephews mentioned to me, hey, I still have that quarter. And it's, and I remember it. And I still have that. It's great. I appreciate that. And, that's awesome. And so, and one thing I've done on a regular basis, not just for Christmas, but other birthday gifts, is give a silver dollar, just a silver coin, American Eagle, or a round, or something like that. That's silver with a little silver lesson, right? And that's something that of real value, of real wealth, that you can feel in your hand that this is real. I mean, this is and especially if someone has not experienced that before, of holding precious metals in their hand. I think that's a great gift, and still fairly inexpensive.
I totally agree with that. That's on my list too. My kids are so young. It's like, I don't want to give them any silver now.
Yeah,
because they'll lose it.
Yeah,
but
dash it away for him.
My grandfather gave my dad a silver coin years and years ago, with a little note that says, "Always keep this, never spend it. This is real money. It's the last of its kind, and it's a 1942 American Eagle." And I'm nice. Like, it's in horrible condition, but it's still worth a ton more than just an ounce of silver. And it's crazy because we take for granted what is real because everything is so easy to get to now, right? Air quote, everything's on demand. We have this weird on demand life, and so we forget the real good things are things that last, things that take time to build, things that take time to acquire. Those are the things that are really more valuable for our lives. And I think we've missed that in our society. And I think as preppers, that's one of the things we're all pushing to get back to.
Yeah, my dad gave each of us a proof silver eagle in 1987.
Nice.
Back in 1987, I still have it. It's in a case. It's probably worth $70-$80 at this point, just because it's proof. It's more of a collector item at that point. But yeah, something that I will never sell.
Yeah, my grandmother passed away when I was a teenager, and she had a coin collection, and it was a lot of the real money, silver coins and dimes and quarters, and she had some silver dollars and I put my name on it and said, hey, she said, if when I pass, she was older too, she knew she was going soon, and so she said, when I die, what do you want? You put your name on it, and then we'll make sure you get it. And so I put my name on a couple of things, and that coin collection was one of them. And I was stoked when they handed it over, because it was a valuable. There's probably 20 coins in there, and they're not. I mean, maybe 40 years ago when I was a kid, it didn't matter much, but today those are some nice collector's items, I think.
Yeah, I inherited some from my dad as well. So
what else is on your Christmas list, Shane?
Well, okay. Another, I think, a fun thing to put together that is something more personal, because a lot of these things may not be personal. You may pick something out that's more specific to someone, like a particular knife that takes a little bit of thought, or maybe spend a little bit more for one particular person. But I think it's fun to put together. So get a large Nalgene wide mouth water bottle.
Yep.
And then pack it full of survival stuff like emergency blankets, matches, or lighters, tinder, those types of things. You could put a small Sawyer water filter in there as well. There's put a lot into like a 32-ounce wide mouth Nalgene, and then give that away as a gift for put in a car or something like that. And that's takes a little more thought to put together and so forth. So I think that's a good option.
Well, I think if you're going to have, if we're nervous about any kind of attacks or any natural disasters, one of the big things is having good water. And, one of those H2Go purifiers would be a great gift if you can afford to give them out to more than one person. That would be a great gift, because water purification, I mean, not everybody's going to go out and get the 55-gallon drums, but if you give them that water purifier, the H2Go purifier is small, it's compact, it's easy to use, simple to give instructions on. They've got QR codes with videos to even learn more about it.
Yeah,
and that's kind of another cool way to get somebody introduced to prepping too, is to give them something like that. Because when any kind of crap hits the fan, having good potable drinking water is always going to be a great gift.
And it's funny because it's like the other part of it is having somewhere you can store the water, right? And another thing is not just store the water, but store it in ways in devices that you can actually move, portable, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I got the 50-gallon tank or the 33-gallon thing or 30 or 50 or 275-gallon IBC totes in the backyard. How do you get the water out of those into your house? How do you get the water into your kitchen or into the bathroom if you're going to do laundry or clean up? Like, have a solution to carry the water in or pipe the water in so that you can use the water. Because if you can't get to it or you can't get it to where you need it, that's going to be the bigger problem. One of my fun lists that's actually in the mail right now on its way here. I've wanted to do this for a long time. I bought a security drone.
Oh, that's what you call it? You call it a security drone?
It's a drone, but it's my security drone. I've wanted to get one for years. I just more for fun, but I'm like, I can justify it as a business expense as a security drone. It has really crappy night vision on it. we'll see how well it actually works. I think it's really more just a heat sensor. I don't think it's really true night vision, but we'll find out. We'll play around with it. We'll do some videos. But I think that's a fun gift. That's a toy, a fun thing, a tool, but also it can be used if you get one that's decent. You can use it for security and kind of seeing what's around you in an area. Problem with drones though, they're super loud.
Yeah.
They're loud.
Yeah, they can be. That's crazy. I would say that another, as you're thinking about different things that people might need, what's helped you in your life get the things that, and then maybe help somebody else have that in their life. I think if you have somebody that has a gun and they need an accessory, maybe that can be a gift for that person to have an accessory for them. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. I don't know if my brother sent me a link. He says, "Bro, I got you something." So it's coming Friday. So, and it's got to be an accessory, and I'm excited about it. So I don't know if that's going to count. I'll count. He's listening, so I'll count that for Christmas if you need me to. But thank you. So even cool things like that, accessories to items are really cool and welcomed.
Of course, I'll speak for myself. I use the survival rules of 3 in my decision process for prepping a lot, and for gift giving too. And so one of the number ones is shelter. So one of the things I gave most of my kids when they got a little older is a good quality Gore-Tex, waterproof, windproof jacket. So that they can always, when we're out hiking or whatever, I can always say, grab your jacket. You got to have your jacket with you. I've been in so many situations where I would say, and I'm probably over exaggerating, but a good jacket has saved my life. Keeping you dry, keeping you out of the wind. And it's like being in a tent, hunker down under a tree with a good jacket on. Man, it is so comforting in a storm, right? And so that was, like you say, Paris, that was something that was important to me. And so I spent some good money on some good jackets for my kids, and it's something that they'll throw in their bags wherever we go. If I remember to remind them to take their jackets with them. So that's something that's been an important gift that we've given our kids.
Well, the nice thing is Gore-Tex used to have a problem with their chemicals. There's a lot of PFAS issues.
Yeah,
they don't have that problem anymore. The forever chemical stuff. Yeah,
but now they're just like everybody else.
My neighbor across the street actually works for Gore-Tex.
Oh, cool.
No, that's cool.
And so he's always like, yeah, we're working on some new stuff that's actually going to be even better. And I'm like, well, do I get one when they come out? And he goes, oh, it's like 2 years. I'm like, well, so do I get one when it comes out? Because
yes, still right.
The top of the line, right? There's so many good things about it. And he wears them all the time. He's like, that's the best thing about my job is I get free Gore-Tex. And maybe if he's got extras, I'll toss it your way because you guys are his size. I'm on the heftier side. Oh, I'm a big boy. I feel like Wreck-It Ralph sometimes with you guys. Like, here I am, all burly and breaking things.
Oh, that's funny.
And you guys are the Fix It Felix guys of the group. For those who know those references.
Let's make it go.
All right. So, tools.
Yes, tools.
More tools. More hand tools. I'm getting less electric tools and more hand tools, and I don't know why, but I've gotten on this woodworking kick where I'm watching all these videos. Maybe it's the ASMR side of things. I'm watching all these videos on like, oh, this guy made a cool table. This guy made some cool chairs. This guy made some charcuterie boards, and they're doing it all with hand tools as opposed to big elaborate systems and power tools. I'm like, oh, I'd really like to make that my hobby and go deeper into making some good wood crafted chairs and furniture pieces and do it old school, not with any of the cool new benefits and things. But yeah, it'll take a lot longer and it's not worth the price of trying to sell it, but it'll be good skills to hone and improve for the future. I just don't want to keep learning things that don't benefit me in a grid down scenario,
Yeah.
So I took on gardening the last few years and just really got going on that again.
Speaking of tools like that, I gave my son-in-law, they went, my daughter and he went to go Christmas tree hunting up in the mountains. And they said, can we come borrow your axe and your saw? And I said, sure, it's in the shed, come get it when you need it. Well, funny thing, my daughter literally reached past the axe to grab the pickaxe and said, I couldn't find the axe. I could only find the pickaxe. I'm not going to have the axe. I said, well, at least take the saw. And my saw is one of those folded, those really fancy, the red, I can't remember the name of it. What's that?
Silky.
Yes. And he's like, dude, this thing cut like butter. And I was like, yes, it does. They're so good. So tools like that are so good to have. It's totally it's a hand operated. So it's not electric, but it just cuts like so well. I mean, 2 or 3 strokes and you're like 3 inches into the darn branch. And I'm like,
depends on the kind of wood.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. So for me so far, it's just where I'm just like 4 or 5 strokes and I'm already through the branch.
Yeah, I think as for tools, another thing I've given my kids, those who drive, a kit for their vehicle, as in an emergency kit that has flares and reflectors and jumper cables and so forth. So, and you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and they have those kits available for pretty inexpensive, or just a Walmart and such. And my kids have appreciated those kits and kept those in their vehicles. And then also another Christmas, I gave again my kids who live away from the home it's just a small standard toolkit for their maintenance kit, like for their home from Lowe's. And of course, my wife says, "No, don't give them that. They don't want that. They didn't ask for that. It's not on their list." And to this day, they still love their kits and they use them all the time. And so I'm like,
that's awesome.
Listen to Dad at least sometimes, right?
You won that one for sure.
It's nice to win every once in a while.
WebDad posted, if you think powered woodworking tools are expensive, look at the price of high-end chisels, planers, and precision saws.
No, that's true.
That is a very accurate statement. I was looking at a set of chisels, a 6-piece chisel set from
Japanese made.
No, actually Norwegian brand. It was $800 for 6 chisels. And I want them so bad. And I'm like, that is outside my price range. But they're so sweet. And you get one free with it too. That's actually a spoon chisel. So you can actually grind out the inside of a spoon or make a cup as well.
I've done some carving myself, so I appreciate some good hand tools.
Yeah. Having really good tools makes
I have one of your carving products.
Yeah, that's right. I have some new ideas now, Paris. So I'll have to pass by you.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think another good gift that I've done as well, that my kids get tired of getting my gifts, I think, is something like a power bank. Just
I was just gonna say that.
Some that has a solar panel on one side, and this is a little more expensive one, a little larger one, or even a full size one, like a Goal Zero or something like that. Or there's so many different brands. But I think that makes for a great Christmas gift. Again, if you can afford the larger ones, I think it'd be a very nice family gift.
Oh yeah, we did that for gifts a few years ago. My mother-in-law got everybody these bargain ones, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, it's a good thing I've got good ones. And then those ones got recalled. So make sure, like, Lion Energy does a great job. Goal Zero does a great job. Like, Opus does a great job. Like, there's a lot of good brands out there. Don't buy anything off of that Temu website because it's all garbage.
Yeah.
I bought mine. We don't have an affiliate link, but I bought mine from Anchor, Anker. Just solid product there too. I mean, I know we have on our website we have a link to Lion Energy, right? And Opus for sure. So if you want to buy those products, definitely support the show and use the links on our website for that. Those are definitely really good. And even if it's, one of the things that my, kind of everybody, I don't know if anybody else does this. Let me know if anybody else does this, but like you kind of hold off and you can justify buying bigger things because it's a birthday or it's Christmas. And you're like, I can, you don't really necessarily, you wouldn't buy it any other time of the year, but because it's Christmas, you're like, okay, I'm going to buy this. It's a bigger item. Maybe it's something you've maybe on your wanted list, not on your needed list. And so you go and buy it. And so I think that some of those types of things where if it's a bigger item like a power bank, you can get it for Christmas or birthday and justify it a little better because it's, that's the time for buying those kinds of gifts. So that's something that I think it can help you if you're worried about justifying, maybe I've given you the way to justify buying it. It's Christmas. Of course I can pay for this. Of course, then when you're in debt after Christmas, come join my Get Out of Debt course that I'm going to be promoting first of the year. I'm going to actually be doing something with my financial channel. So watch out for that if you're wanting to get out of debt after Christmas, after you've spent way too much money on these gifts.
Always spend way too much.
It's funny because we got a comment from Practical Civilian letting us know that silky saws suck. We're waiting for the clarification as to why.
Yes, please, Practical.
I've got
We're big fans
tree
here.
trimmer of a brother who uses them, loves them to death.
Yeah, the Baja Laplander. Those are similar to the silkies, but I think they're quite a bit less expensive. Is that right, Practical?
Yeah, I've got a number of saws in the garage, and silky definitely gets used the most, especially on scout campouts, because my patience when I'm with this young man wears thin, and I want to be able to get through the wood projects as quickly as possible.
Right.
And we have a lot of pine here, which is a problem because it burns fast, and
yeah, it's all pine.
It's not all that good stuff. But I've been very, very happy with my silky. And Jim McIntyre, hold on now. Birthdays are for socks and underwear. We do need those things, yeah.
Always.
I would argue that let's try to change that, especially as dads. Like, we get ties all the time or a T-shirt. In fact, I'm actually wearing a birthday T-shirt that I got. But if you want to do a T-shirt, make sure you do a preppertalkradio.com T-shirt. We've got some sick ones on the website. And I'll be designing more here in the next few months. We'll just keep adding to that collection of merch. Now, as we're getting closer to the holidays and as we're actually getting closer to the end of the show, all these gifts are great, but there's nothing better than the gift of time. Time with your family, time with your loved ones, time with your preparedness group. Spend that time wisely doing and learning things together. Hoard as many board games and puzzles as you can, and take the opportunity of the holiday season right now to start doing those. Make it a practice to do those, because we try to find a few puzzles every year to add to our stash, because we'll do puzzles with the kids almost every month. We'll do a different new puzzle that's new, as by new I mean used, because they can get pretty expensive. But we've got board games that we'll pick them up at like thrift stores. It's cheap and easy, and
those are good for prepping too. If you think about it, because if you have a grid down and you're out of power for 3 or 4 hours, throw a candle and throw out a board game, and that'll pass the time and give you something to be entertained and have a good fun. It makes it so it's not so scary if you got the kids wrapped around a board game. Especially if they're little. We
used to play Monopoly whenever the power went out.
Oh, dang.
My wife won't play Monopoly. And I'm like, but my sister and brother, we always play Monopoly all the time. But even when the power went out, it's like great, because you're like, we don't know when the power is going to come back on. So whoever has the most money and assets when the power comes back on wins. It could be a 20-minute game. It could be a 3-hour game. I mean, I grew up in Colorado, and the grid's better now than it was. But back in the late 80s and early 90s, it was a little bit of a gamble sometimes.
I prefer Scrabble myself.
There you go. But Phase 10, card games.
Oh, yeah, we love Phase 10.
Uno. Yes. There's so many ways you can kill time and spend good quality time with your family and friends, and they're just good to have. All right, what else you got on the list, Shane?
No, I've got a number of things. Again, if you have some good money to spend on a gift, I think it's hard to beat showing that you care better than with a quality first aid kit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Something, again, not something that's, again, you can probably find some decent first aid kits at Walmart. That's what I was going to say. Not a Walmart first aid kit, but they probably have some decent ones. But seriously, going to my main site, there's AMP3, but I like the I'll have to find a link here and post it for you for Joe Alton. Their first aid kits on doomandbloom.net. They have some amazing first aid kits. And they are expensive, but they are quality, and they have what you need in there. It's very well thought out kits.
What's our other friend of ours that lives in San Pete County? He has a first aid company, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Shield Safety. Shield-safety.com.
Okay. Yeah, Shield Safety. They have some great fire cream, like after if you got burn cream, I should say.
Yeah, no, Shield Safety is fantastic as well. Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because as we're talking about all these different gifts, I also love nostalgia gifts, or gifts that, I guess nostalgia is not the right word. What a gift that an heirloom gift, right? Something that you're going to pass on to someone else. There's a few of those that my grandpa had that my dad has now that I'm like, someday hopefully one of those will be mine. But one of mine is this knife. It's an old buck knife. This thing I'm going to have forever. It is a fantastic knife. Having something that's a preparedness tool, an everyday carry type tool, but that also is going to last and last and last. Those are the types of things you want to spend your money on, not the gimmicky things that you find advertised all over Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else. Steer clear of those and get the things that last.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think one of the things this last week or so, my brother-in-law came over, my son-in-law, came over, and we needed some tweezers, and not tweezers, some needle nose pliers. And I didn't have any. Like, I had to go look. I was like, dang it, I should have my EDC, Shane, right? I should have my little tool, because those come with needle nose pliers and most of those kits that I could have right on me. And so anyways, I didn't end up finding it till I had to go in my bag and look through my tools, and I ended up finding what I had. But I thought to myself, maybe that's what I put on my Christmas list this year, is get myself I actually have one in my bug out bag. Maybe I should just put that one on my belt every day.
There you go.
I have 2 in the car all the time. I've got a couple here at home, plus my tool boxes out in the garage. I even have a right angle needle nose set.
Oh, nice.
So I can get in those little hard to reach areas.
The
claw. Yeah. It's funny. Tweezers, though, how often tweezers don't have a good knife, a good little multi knife will have tweezers on it.
That's true.
Swiss Army knives are the number one go-to, in my opinion. If you want a little tool for everything type knife, I love those. You can't go wrong with those. But having a good set of tweezers in your first aid kits, in your bathroom, in your kitchen. Also, I don't have one here with me, but have you seen those anti-choking devices?
Oh, yeah. I did get some of those.
We've got one of those in our car, and we've got one of those in the kitchen. And we never put them away. They're always on top. So the one on our counter, if someone's choking, you can just pop it on their face, give one good squeeze, and it'll pull out whatever's caught in their throat.
Is that the Life Vac? Is that what it's called?
Life Vac, yeah. Okay. They're fantastic. And they do deals where you can get 2 for 1 all the time. So we bought 2. So we'd have one in the car where we take the kids all the time. Because, man, that is the scariest thing when someone's choking.
Yeah.
And you can't get it out with a Heimlich. That pretty big panic. Definitely a good, just all around preparedness, but also just life benefit type thing to have. You can also get anti-fire devices, also known as fire extinguishers. And then there's also those cloths you can get for your kitchen that you can put out fires.
Fire blankets, yeah.
And fire blankets. Great things to have on hand as well.
Those are important because that's kind of the reality of potential emergencies. What, fires, flooding, earthquakes, that kind of stuff is where we can really help people, like get some things in their house to help prepare them for any kind of an emergency. Even, we all know that the zombies are coming, but not everybody is ready for that yet. So, but you can tell them, hey, look, put this fire. a couple weeks, maybe a couple months ago, I was barbecuing in the backyard, and my son's like, "Hey, Dad, there's a lot of smoke coming from the barbecue." And I tried to turn it and open it, and it was literally the flames jumped out at me, and I was like, "Well, let's see if that'll just burn itself out." And it wouldn't, and so I needed to get my fire extinguisher and just spray it, hit it once with that foam. And so that's just something that can happen any time of the day,
Mhm.
anytime of all the time. You never know. It happened to me just out of the blue. And so if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. So having a good fire extinguisher, and they're not cheap, but they're also not too expensive either to get a couple of them. Because it's good to have one or two, if you have, especially have a couple stories in your house, have one on each floor. It would be a good idea to have for fire extinguishers.
And one for your vehicle as well, an automotive fire
Yeah.
extinguisher. Yeah.
Yeah, very good to have. Well, we're about at the end of our show. Any final thoughts wrapping it up?
I think, we're talking about gifts. I think, like you said, the most important thing is time.
Mhm.
And I'm very practical in my gift giving. At least I try to be. And that cannot be terribly fun, especially for kids who want their toys, right? But as a parent, as an example, I think it really shows what's important
Mhm.
when we give a particular gift. Like, this is important to me. It's your safety, your well-being is important to me. This may not be fun, but when you're older, you'll probably appreciate this more. And I'm all about that, right? The immediate gratification is nice, especially for kids, but I would rather do the right thing now, and that my kids look back 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now and look back and say, I get it. I understand why, dad did this, why dad did that. And I think gift giving is a part of that.
Oh yeah. I'm all
My
about the experiential gifts. Like, the more time you can spend with them to experience something together. So, like, taking them shooting, taking them to learn self-defense. Took my wife to do that years ago, and she still brags about how she can take me down. And we practice, not as much as I'd like to, but we practice those things from time to time. Experiences last. Things don't always last, but those good quality experiences, those will stick with you.
I think my last final thoughts are just, as you're going to shop as a financial guy, please stay in budget. Like, prepare. One of the things that I would suggest that people do in preparing for Christmas is start in January, putting aside a couple $100 a month, so that you can you can get to Christmas with a couple $1,000 already ready to go. And so after Christmas in January, look at your budget and think to yourself, what did I spend on Christmas? And was it, crazy, or was it kind of an average Christmas? And then just, if it was, let's say you spent on all your family members, let's say you spent $5,000. Well, divide that by 12 and start putting away $300 or $400 a month now. And so that next Christmas, you're not totally overwhelmed with where am I going to get this money? Because you already have it saved and you're buying Christmas gifts from savings. So that's something that I would say. I tried to share a link for Anthony, because he mentioned that he was having a hard time trying to find.
Yeah, we got it on there.
Okay, I tried to share the link and it said an error occurred when I shared it. So, anyways,
I think we're all trying to do it at the same time.
Yeah, my final thought is just stay in budget. Prepare not only for Christmas with your finances, but then after Christmas, prepare for the next Christmas. Each month, put aside a couple bucks and prepare and be ready for it.
Yeah, it makes it so much nicer.
Oh yeah. Well, guys, thanks for listening to Prepper Talk Radio. Thanks for being part of the live show. For those of you who are in here now, it's been awesome. Thank you for your comments, your participation, your wisdom. I've got some notes on some products I'm going to check out and some trainings I'm going to check out as well. Above all, more than anything, it is your mindset, your plan, and your backup plan. Get those things figured out, because that'll help you get through just about anything. Keep that head alert. I don't know the right word to say here, but stay awake, stay alert. Don't go woke. It's just craziness. But if you live a prepared life, you have less stress, you have a higher quality of life, more happiness and peace. And that is the most valuable thing you can have in life. Until next time, Stay ready minded. Keep that head on a swivel. And don't be a bobblehead.
See you guys.
Take care, guys. Thanks.